You are going into the unknown. What's on the other side may know you're coming.
Hi everybody, welcome to Modern Shooter. In 2007, Jack Nicklaus, the pro golfer Jack Nicklaus, stood in this spot, the Sandhills in Nebraska, and said, I am going to build a golf course that makes people feel like they're golfing in Ireland. And that's exactly what they did, and they called it the Dismal River Club. But a handful of years ago, they came to their senses and they started involving a lot more shooting sports to the equation. 5-stand, long range, pistol work, and of course, a lot of upland game hunting. And it didn't take them long to realize how much opportunity was there in that space.
I can teach people how to shoot clay targets on a clays range. It's great, works great. But there's nothing that replaces the real thing. Walking with the gun, dogs on the ground, we get into birds and they flush out, what do? This is the place to come to do that. This is a place to come learn, try it, enjoy it. I guess I'm a little lucky and I got my fat little pal Clay here to find them.
It took me quite a while to understand it. I grew up a big game guy, but once I got more into the bird stuff, got to watching the dog, got to working with these super high-end gorgeous guns like the CZ Supreme Field, it makes sense. It's the complete package. And we've got birds cackling in the background, fresh dirt to walk. It's exactly what October is supposed to be. Wouldn't you say, Dave?
I think so. I can't wait to walk this field. I can hear birds right now and man, it gets my blood going. So
dude, you and me both.
I'm ready. I teach a lot of people on how to shoot shotguns and a lot of competitive bird hunters, actually. And I noticed that the common thing is, the common trait among us bird hunters is we want to shoot too fast. And we don't take the time to get ourselves set up to make the shot. The gun hits the face and we fire the gun instantly, and chances are we miss with that first shot. So it's not a race to the bird. Get yourself set up, get a good look on it. You can only shoot as fast as you can see.
Kill him. Nice. Nice shot. That was fun to watch, Dave.
All right, look at that beautiful dart.
Dude.
Excellent retrieve.
You're gonna brag right now that you shot him directly in the head, didn't you?
I was just lucky to hit it. Lucky to hit it. Look at that. Beautiful.
Beautiful bird.
First Nebraska rooster for the year right there, my friend.
I like it. I'll tell you what though.
Told you I hit it in the head.
Yes, you did. I saw it. But I'll tell you what, as pretty as that bird is, he's still about half as stunning as this Supreme Field.
They're beautiful. Grade 3 Turkish walnut, just beautiful guns.
Full line, I assume? 410, 28, 12, 20?
Well, we do a 28,
okay,
a 20, and a 12. And what's neat about the 28 is we make it on the 20 gauge frame. Therefore, it has auto ejectors and it feels like a full-size gun. Swings like a full-size gun.
Yeah.
Some 28s are a little whippy. This is a full-size 28.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yep, this is a 20
like
right
it.
here in my hand. But the 28 would be the same frame size and everything.
How was that for waiting in a 35-yard shot? I got mine. Did you get yours?
No.
You're batting clean up.
Totally missed twice. I was like, rooster, chucker, rooster, chucker. And then you shot at the rooster. I thought there was another one. And I thought, well, I'm going to shoot this chucker. And I turned around and just couldn't pull it off.
Put that on your calendar. Luke Hartle just outshot world record holder Dave Miller.
Boom.
Beautiful. Thank you, Greg. You know, it was a long shot, but again, I took Dave's advice to heart. I mean, that rooster looked like he was going away, but he started to kind of button hook back. If I would have shouldered real quick and just fired, I would have been way behind him to the right. I guarantee it. But by taking a couple extra seconds, assessing which way that bird's figuring out, I mean, I'm trying to figure out where that bird is going the same time he is. He's flushing, he's scared, he's trying to get out of there. We figured it out together, take my time, and there are the results.
So see that bird, identify it's a rooster, mount the gun on the lead side and pull the trigger. Awesome. That was sweet. Got some action there, didn't we? I got one. Two. Look at that, man.
Now you're just showing off.
No, I got lucky. That's what I got.
That was some beautiful shooting.
That was fantastic.
I spent a lot of time talking about waiting for him to get out there. All of those were out there. That was some impressive stuff. It was fun to watch.
It was cool. It worked out well. I had one come over my head and I had to take a step and then insert in front this way.
Yep.
So it was a total shift. I just worked out well. I had time. If you just focus,
Yep.
you can make the shot every time.
And that's replaying it in my head. I mean, watching those white bands. I mean, the beak is great. Focus on the band.
That band's
It
bigger.
stands out so well.
Modern Shooter is brought to you by Aguila Ammunition. Feed your firearm. By H&H Precision Rifles. Engineering precision rifles and components for the world's most demanding shooters. Sig Sauer Electro-Optics. See the difference. By Securite. Intelligent firearm storage. By Gun Digest. We know guns, so you know guns. By Turnbull Restoration, specializing in the accurate restoration of historical metal finishes on period firearms. And by Benchmark Barrels, world-class accuracy made in the USA.
Welcome back to Modern Shooter and welcome back to Nebraska. You might not have guessed that looking over my shoulder, this is Nebraska. And to a lot of people, this isn't what they think. To a lot of people, Nebraska is a flyover state. As far as I'm concerned, you can keep on going because once you get into it, you get into this kind of stuff. And specifically here at Dismal River Club, tucked into each one of these hills, it's a sportsman's paradise. Of course, you can see all the golf greens behind me. I have no interest in that. But tucked in over there is a 5-stand station. Tucked in over here is a bunch of pheasants. Tucked in over here is a bunch of chukars. And tucked in over here is a long distance shooting range. There is so much going on just out of sight that these hills are almost magical.
So there's so many different things you can learn. Wing shooting, shooting a shotgun, one thing, but learning how to hunt's another. Learning how to safely carry your gun, learning how to pay attention to that dog, learning how to know that what the wind's doing and how to work the wind and which direction we need to walk down this hill and come back up the other side. All these little things that you see that you can't teach somebody unless you get them in the field. This is the greatest platform for me to work with. That's why we're here.
Dave, it looks like these shotguns are going to outclass me today for sure.
Well, today we're going to shoot the sharptails, and that one's a 20 gauge sharptail. This is actually a platform of side-by-sides that we make in every gauge, including 16. We also make a 30-inch 12-gauge target version also for those that want to shoot competitive clays with it. So it's an awesome gun. It's a great platform, and they're just beautiful. And all of them are just a little bit different because the colorings are different on each one, and you can compare these two together.
But if I know CZ, these are going to work as hard as they are beautiful.
Let's go shoot some birds.
I'm in for that. So Dave, when a bird hits the air, what's the first thing that comes to your mind, or what's the first thing that you do? Do you have a routine?
Well, yeah, I stop, make sure I get a good footing, and then turn my body and insert my muzzle in front of the bird. So many times I see people, the bird flushes up this way, and they're standing like this, and the bird went way to their left, and they don't move their body and insert in front. So we only have a certain range of motion when we stand here, right? I can cover from here to here, and that's about it. But if the bird flies outside of that zone, I'm no longer in a neutral stance, and I'm getting bound up. My body's getting tied up, and I cannot finish my swing. Gotcha. So bird flushes out, say the bird flushed here and went to my left, and I'd be standing like this. I'm gonna take a couple steps and insert in front.
So the first thing you do, you're not shouldering the gun. You're moving your lower body to square up with that target.
That's right. You remember this, if the gun's not mounted, you're not behind the target. Even though the bird flies this direction, my muzzle's pointed this way because I'm a right-handed shooter. If I could take the time, turn and then insert, then I'm mounting on the lead side to make the shot, rather than just keep your feet planted and try to swing over. We don't have enough room in our bodies to make that move.
If I shoulder that gun first thing, I'm catching up right out of the gate, and I'm all bound up by the time the gun barrel actually gets pointed in the general direction of that bird.
That's right, you're coming in way late and way behind. So you're behind from the start. If you move your body according to where the bird is, and then insert in front, you're never behind.
That makes all kinds of sense.
Yep.
All right.
Makes a big difference.
Let's go put it in action.
All right, come on, Clay. That was awesome. Got 2 right there. Clay pushed up a nice covey of chukars and got 2 down. Little sharp tail and a ½ ounce of number 8s did the job. Let's see if we can find them. Good bull. Good bull. Good bull.
So why is it
Thanks,
that
buddy.
the bird's always flush in front of you? That don't seem right.
I guess I'm a little lucky, and I got my fat little pal Clay here
Yeah, I
to
see
find
you two
them.
are tight. I should have been watching you, but I was watching the birds. Did you do your little insert step fancy dance move?
I did dance with them a little bit. I had several get up,
Yep.
and I shot the first one that went out to the left, and
saw
then I
that.
spun around and shot one right here.
So what do you do? So single bird makes sense, right? Spin your hips, insert in front of the bird. No catch up. What do you do to get up with that second bird? You have to catch up, don't
Yeah,
you?
that's called the cutoff move. So I have a direction already with the first target.
Yep.
Then I look back, find a new one. First, I make sure the first one I shot at is dead before I leave it.
Of course.
Then scan over, see the next target, and then adjust my whole my hips, my shoulders, everything went to the birds. Most of them went that way. I only had a couple go this way.
So if we had to choreograph it, you could say it's the insert to the cutoff.
That's right. I insert in front, made the shot, looked over, eyes first, found the next target, and then cut him off. But I had to move my body like this from here to here. So I was here, bang, in front, spun over, shot it.
Clearly it
Worked out
works.
work. Yeah, it worked out well.
Times 2.
Yeah, got 2.
It's my turn, isn't it?
It is your turn, man.
One of the things I love most about western Nebraska is that if you get off the interstate, it looks like a completely different world from what you see on the interstate. Look over my shoulder. This is Nebraska. We're standing in the middle of the sandhills. Yes, the sandhills tops have bottoms too. There's a little bit of water flowing throughout, but what that does is that creates an exceptionally diverse place to hunt birds, especially standing here right at the heart of Dismal River. I mean, it's beautiful. You can hunt the tops, you can hunt the middles, you can hunt the bottoms. It's all kinds of diversity to test your birding skills.
Yeah, Luke, this is an unbelievable place to come hunting. I was up here a month ago for another event, and I fell in love with the Dismal River Club and wanted to come back, wanted to get you guys out here, and now we're standing in the bottom of a ravine in the sandhills having a conversation. It's just awesome.
The coolest thing about Dismal River is the diversity, and I'm not just talking about topography and all the different things there to look at, right? Of course, you can golf, you wouldn't catch me dead doing that, but lots of upland hunting to do, lots of different horse riding stuff to do, or if fishing is more your thing, they've got a trout pond. And if you could somehow manage to catch like the 2 trout that they have in this little pond right here, you can take them back, the chef will prepare them for you, and that chef knows what he's doing. Even I could make Bill Dance look like a fool in this pond. If I know one thing for certain about shooting shotguns with Dave Miller, it's that there's always going to be a bunch of different options sitting on the front of his rig, and I bet I'm right about that again today, aren't I?
I hope you like shooting pumps, Luke,
love shooting
because
pumps.
I got them. That's the CZ612 field, and then
Okay.
we got the CZ620 Field Select and the CZ628 Field Select.
Okay, so if you know me, you know that I'm already going to grab the 612. That's a given. And if I know you, I'd put money on you grabbing the 620 right there.
No, today I'm going to shoot my favorite That's the CZ 628.
You're picking the 28.
I love 28 gauge.
All right, let's see what that little thing can do.
All right.
Dave, it seems like more often than not, the big old 12 has a hard time knocking pheasants out of the sky, right? And then now you're telling me that that little thing is gonna do it.
You know, it's all about how you place your shot and how you get set up to take the shot before you pull the trigger. Okay. Chukar. When you hit that bird, you're not hitting it with more than 7, 8, 9, 10 shot pellets, okay? With the 12, well, that's all I need out of that 3/4 of an ounce of shot that's in that 28 gauge shell too. It's all about the core of the pattern and where you put it. You know, the pattern's a little bit smaller, but it's just as deadly.
I totally get what you're saying, but if you put a 28 next to a 12, it just doesn't seem like there's enough there. It doesn't even seem close.
Yeah. There's no comparing this 28 to this big old 12 gauge, but I will tell you, this 3/4 of an ounce of payload in this shotgun shell inside the bore diameter of a 28 gauge is nearly ballistically perfect. So what you have is the best recipe that you could possibly have with that small bore. Unlike a 410 or even a 12 gauge, where to be ballistically perfect, you'd have to add a whole lot more shot to this.
Here's the deal, Dave. You have more experience with shotguns than anybody else I know, and I mean that. But still, there's no way I'm gonna try and pluck a rooster from the sky with that 28 until I can actually first see what it can do.
All right, well, let's go do it on the pattern sheet. I got one right over here.
All right.
All right, Luke, you take the top part of the pattern sheet, just gonna shoot about 15 inches below the top bar.
Okay.
I'll shoot 15 inches above the center bar, or the bottom bar, center, and we'll compare your big 12 to my sweet little 28 gauge.
Straight up A/B test. Both shooting mods, both shooting 7.5, both shooting from the same spot.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah, you got more shot than I do. You got 1 1/8 ounce of 7.5s. I'm shooting 3/4 of an ounce of 7.5s. But I bet you're gonna be surprised when we compare them.
All right, I'll give it a chance.
Luke, I'm just happy to see that you hit that 44 by 44 pattern sheet
Well, let's
with
see
your
what
big old 12 gauge.
I could have missed half of it and probably still put more shot on that board than your 28's gonna do.
Let's see.
All right.
Okay, let's go have a look.
All right.
Okay, we'll have a look at that. You definitely got more shot in there. This is me with the 28. Mine's a little more open. You definitely have a lot more shot in a smaller area, but I bet you're surprised to see that this is bigger than yours.
I don't want to say it, but yeah, I am surprised.
Okay, remember when we were back at the Kubota earlier, we were talking about how efficient these were.
Yeah.
You just shot 1 1/8 ounce of 7.5s right there, okay? No doubt, that's a nice tight center pattern, looks great. There is 3/4 of an ounce of 7.5s. Still no room for a clay target or a quail to get out of that at the same distance, right? So who has to be more precise, me or you? You thought it would probably be this way, right?
That stellar little pattern right there, that's exactly what you meant when you said the 28 is ballistically perfect, isn't it?
That's right. Let's go find some birds. We saw the differences in the patterns, and the 12 gauge was tighter with more shot at 17 yards, right? 28 gauge was very uniform, but you won't see me shooting at birds past 25 yards. That's where the big 12 gauge comes in, 25 and out. It will outperform at distance.
As turkey hunters, we've all been forced to make a huge sacrifice. And what I mean by that is we each take our shotgun and we set it up to take that pattern and throw it out there as far as possible. Why? Simply because we are terrified of that turkey hanging up just out of range. But what that setup does is it makes the short game extremely difficult, where you're trying to hit a baseball with a baseball. And thanks to CZ USA, you don't have to sacrifice a thing anymore.
Enter the Reaper Magnum.
This is a pretty bold move, Dave.
You know what? We were excited to bring this out because we know turkey hunters are missing something. Turkey hunters needed the option of shooting a close target or a far target. And with this combination, you can have a tight choke, an open choke, different shell combinations. You can do lots of things with this gun. So from the stock to the barrel, this thing's all about shooting turkeys. Mechanical safety, selectable barrels. It comes with extra full to cylinder and the chokes in between. It's also supplied with this special rail that's contoured low on the monoblock. And the only thing we added, obviously, you can put a some type of optic. I wanted the smallest thing I could get so I can get it as low as possible. 26-inch barrels, auto ejectors, polymer stock. It's just tough.
I'm gonna step out on a limb and say this is the most customizable turkey gun I think I've ever seen. And not just because of everything you built in to make it a turkey gun, but it's an over-under. I get to select my own ammo and my own choke combination for not only one barrel, but for two.
So what I recommend is using, say, a pheasant load in the bottom barrel, and then the other barrel an actual turkey load. Turkey loads on the market these days are designed to shoot tight, okay? So let's use an open choke, a pheasant load, not different shot size, 6s, 5s, 4s, and then I'm good very close, I'm good very far away, I can make ethical shots, feel good about it.
What I love about it, Dave, is literally these options are the flick of a switch. It is incredibly strange to watch you load a 3-inch turkey round in the top barrel and then a 2 3/4-inch pheasant round in the bottom barrel.
Yeah, well, watch this.
Dude, that's what number 6 shot out of the bottom barrel, the designated close barrel of the Reaper Magnum does at close distance. Exactly what it was designed to do.
Woo, that's a dead bird right there.
And that is with a pheasant load. Can you imagine what that target would look like at this distance had you shot that turkey load out of the top pipe?
Oh yeah, the pattern would be half that size.
That's exactly what we were talking about. I mean, hitting a baseball with a baseball is a very, very difficult shot. But now, thanks to the Reaper Magnum, at this distance, you can hit that baseball with a beach ball.
Be sure to check out Modern Shooter and Gun Digest online and on Facebook.